What's happening, guys, and welcome back to our channel. Misinformation and fake news are quite common in today's modern age of the internet. The truth is, nothing much more can be done to contain it. One of the most shocking pieces of news that came forward was that the martial artist Chuck Norris had passed away at the age of 77. Well, that's not true. In fact, Chuck is very much alive and well. Let's see how Chuck Norris sacrificed his career to save his wife. Number 4. The reason behind Chuck's wife's illness. While he hasn't been seen on our screens for quite some time now, it's not because he's deceased. The action star has had to face his worst nightmare as his beloved wife has been fighting for her life. Did you know Chuck Norris can have both feet on the ground and kick butt at the same time? Imagine being known as the unbeatable man, the action hero for millions all over the world. Well, Chuck Norris doesn't have to imagine because he is that guy. When God said, "Let there be light," Chuck said, "Say please," and the rest is history. Unfortunately, there's been one thing that seems to be an impossible battle for the 80-year-old actor. His wife, Jenna O'Kelly, has been given an injection of a routine MRI exam for rheumatoid arthritis. They had no idea that this injection carried extreme risks that could cause horrific side effects. Jenna started to suffer from nerve pain and kidney problems, and soon both their lives took a turn for the worst. I've given up my film career to concentrate on Jenna. My whole life right now is about keeping her alive. I believe this issue is so important. For the first time ever, Norris opened up about the suffering that he and his family have been going through behind closed doors, hoping that it would spread awareness to others. Jenna revealed that in 2013, she was given 3 injections of an MRI contracting agent for 8 days, which led to a burning sensation all over her body. She felt she was on fire. She told that she had laid in bed on an IV for 5 months and had to have round-the-clock nursing care. The side effect from the injection is incredibly rare and affects only 10% of patients. Jenna had no idea what was happening to her body and endured endless tests while doctors tried to find out what was wrong with her. The injections had poisoned her body, which resulted in breathing problems, muscle weakness, and joint pain. Number 3. Chuck struggles. Chuck has 2 sons in Mike Norris, who was born in 1962, and Eric Scott Norris, born in 1965. Mike, aside from the MMA, followed in his father's footsteps by joining the showbiz industry. Some of his notable acting works are Born American, Delta Force 3: The Killing Game, Dragon Fury 2, Carnival of Wolves, and Birdie and Bogey. Chuck put everything aside to take care of his wife, and this included his movie career. Since launching his acting career, the martial artist has starred in more than 40 films and TV shows, with his most famous character as Cordell Walker in the TV series Walker, Texas Ranger. However, his start to life was not as bright as his future. The martial artist described his childhood as a very difficult one. His father misused substances, and he was always embarrassed by his drinking. In order to not draw attention from his father, who would lash out cruelly towards young Chuck, he became quiet and shy. His schoolwork was also affected by what was happening at home, so he was never able to thrive academically. Chuck knew he never wanted that kind of life for himself. He never wanted to be like his father, and he wanted to be able to stand up for himself and others who couldn't defend themselves. In 1958, Norris enlisted in the United States Air Force. It was during his time in the Army that he got the nickname Chuck. This might come as a shock to you, but his birth name is actually Carlos Ray Norris. The nickname was here to stay, and he was known from then on as Chuck Norris. It wasn't only the film industry he was interested in. Chuck wanted to help society with everything that he had learned from martial arts. He decided to open up several youth combat leagues to help homeless teenagers get off the streets and gain control over their lives. He also wrote self-help motivational books and actively gave to charities so that he could give back to the community. He was super mindful of giving back to people who gave him a lot of love and support. This gesture was widely appreciated and made people adore him even more. Number 2. Married life. The actor has also been married to someone else before he met Jenna. When a person marries a celebrity, their life changes completely. Such is the case for Diane Holacek, who became famous for being the former wife of Hollywood's action superstar Chuck Norris. The ex-couple was together since high school and would separate after 3 decades of married life. They were together for each other from the beginning, even before the professional mixed martial artist was a household name. In 1958, Norris, who was 18 at the time, tied the knot with his high school sweetheart Diane, who was 17 at the time. In 1962, the couple welcomed their first son Mike and a second son Eric 2 years later. Unfortunately, the bliss of their marriage soon came to an end after Diane found out that Chuck was dishonest and was in a relationship with another woman named Joanna. After having been married for 30 years, the high school sweethearts separated in 1989. Chuck had no idea that during his affair with Joanna, she had fallen pregnant. It was only 26 years later that he was approached by Joanna's daughter Diane, and she told him that he was her father. Joanna didn't want her daughter to know that Chuck was her father and had tried to keep it a secret from her. It wasn't until Diane found out by accident that the legendary martial artist was her dad. No one could have imagined the shock that Chuck felt knowing that for almost 30 years he had a daughter he couldn't be there for. The couple met each other after Norris spotted Jenna, who was a model at the time, while he was on another date. He couldn't take his eyes off of Jenna, and he knew he had to learn more about her. He then asked his agent to set a date with her, and despite their 20-year age difference, the couple quickly became friends. Soon after, the pair fell in love and were inseparable since then. They married in 1998 and had 2 beautiful children together. Number 1. Norris's wife. For 5 months, Norris never left his wife's bedside. She was bedridden and in constant pain and was connected to IV medication to help her recover from the toxins in her body. It was an incredibly difficult time for his family. The actor feared for his wife's life, and he had no idea if she would ever recover. Seeing his wife in so much pain was heartbreaking for him, and it's something he'll never be able to forget. Chuck knew that he didn't want anyone else to ever have to experience the trauma that his family had gone through, so his family decided to take legal action against the hospital. His family sought more than $10 million in damages, stating that hospitals should have warned patients of the risks involved. Jenna also said they were single-mindedly hoping to find the truth behind what really caused her illness. Unfortunately, the couple lost the case, but they were able to spread the awareness that they wanted, and as a precautionary measure, the injections that were used on Jenna were taken off the market. Since the shocking healthcare, Jenna is back on her feet, and although she still suffers from some chronic pain, she's no longer bedridden and is able to continue with her life. Chuck has also made a small comeback to her screens as a feature in the Hawaii Five-0 TV series. The couple has moved on with their lives and is focusing on spending time together with their family. They have a whopping $70 million net worth, so they never have to work another day in their lives if they don't want to. While Chuck Norris fans are secretly praying for a comeback of Walker Texas Ranger, they're relieved to know that no matter what is thrown in his direction, he's still unbeatable. He stood by his wife in the hardest of times and never once left her alone. Do let me know your thoughts regarding all of this in the comments down below, and I'll be catching you guys later in another video. Bye now!